Alright, so we're going to do the strip down of the bike and send a few parts off to the painter. And not sure if I'm going to do this on the live format video like this, or if I'm going to do a picture video. I'm going to do it both ways, but this is always a little bit easier than trying to do a voiceover. So anyway, what we're going to do here is we're taking the front fender off, and we're going to go with a plain black. We're going to get rid of this old style pinstriping, the lettering on there. So we're going to be taking the wheel off, the calipers off on both sides to get to the bolts that are in here, behind here, because they're bend over tangs that keep the bolts retained. So getting a wrench in there is almost impossible. Plus, pulling the fender out, it'll have to drop down. It won't come out forward or backwards through the forks, because there's a flare at the back of the fender, and also that chrome stuff on there. And then we're going to be repainting the fairing. We're going to get rid of this Air Force emblem, again the pinstriping, and there's been a little bit of damage on it, very fine scratches. The love bugs over the years have really kind of eaten into the clear coat, so they're it just the acid in their bodies, or whatever the guts are, have really kind of made it look nasty, especially in the sunlight. So it's not too bad. The tank is also, the clear coat is just getting very, very dull and kind of spotty. I don't know what's happening to it. It's just getting old, and it might have gotten gas on it. I mean, it is it's an old motorcycle. It's a '99, and it's got over, what have I got now? Almost 110, it's almost 111,000 miles on it. And the saddlebags, I think, are in pretty good shape. Taking the rear fender off, I will do at a later date. I don't really have the money to do all of this at one point, but this tour pack got painted a long time ago. It got replaced with the Ultra tour pack, and it was a burgundy type color, and they just taped it off, and it doesn't look very good at all. Now, this wasn't my tour pack originally, so taking all this off isn't a big deal. Taking it off, I got to take the speaker covers off, and we'll do that at a later date. But right now, today, I think the three parts that are going to go to the painter are the tank, the front fairing cover, and the fender. And I've had some requests to take a closer look at the inside wiring once I get the fairing off from, especially Felix Una. He asked me to take a look in there, and I've never had a close-up of it, so we'll do that in both picture format and video format. So for now, that's it. I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to get to work here once I get my tools out and get everything set up. Okie dokie, we got everything off, and the wheels put back on so I can move it around. Although he said he'd have the paint done by, let's see, today's Sunday. I'll bring it to him tomorrow, and he said around Wednesday, but I didn't tell him about the tank, so that was the only extra piece, so it might be next Friday. In either case, there it is. Good time to replace the fuel lines, because they're hidden up under here. A lot easier to get at now, and that one in the front that I needed to do from back when I did the service. And it's also a good time to check all my heim joints for the motor alignment while I got it apart. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. Getting the fuel petcock out of the tank was a little bit of an ordeal. I guess right here, the plastic portion of it in there is causing that to swell up, and it's a tight fit into that hole anyway, into the tank. And I thought I was going to rip it, but I finally did get it out by yanking this whole assembly off of the petcock, which wasn't too bad to put back in there, but I really didn't want to buy a new petcock. These damn things are expensive even for an aftermarket. So that worked out very well. And so everything is, yeah, there's the wiring mess that these bikes have. You know, the more they put on these things, the worse it gets. I'm sure that the newer bikes are even more crammed up with wiring. So now's a good time to clean up some of my stereo wiring that I had here, which I ran over the top of the tank, and I guess I can put it up under the tank now. That way those wires won't be on top. But if I ever have to service it, yeah, I might leave them on top. I don't know. But that's it for now, kids. That's the deal. So now we let the painter do his magic, and then hopefully by middle of next week we'll have this back, and I'll get it back together again slowly. With a new paint job, you got to be careful, and we'll pick it up so we have a complete video after I get the parts back and then put everything together. All right, we'll see you next time.